working here together in the house in Beniras, which can be very tricky for most people, but I've tried to make it as seamless as possible. I've brought in new ideas and different ways of creating a bit more of a culture, so we're not pulling each other's hair out, and that we can work really effectively whilst we're all here in the heat and the sweat and the small space. It's about really creating a beautiful harmony, and I think we're doing a good job. The first thing I wanted to do with the team was to be able to create a family bond, and I come from a really solid family. We all eat together, we spend a lot of time together, and for us we sit down at home around 6 o'clock and we have dinner together and we talk about our day, and it's been something that I really appreciate and that I really value and that I kind of miss if I'm not living with my parents. So I wanted to create that family culture here in the house. So we have dinner at 6 o'clock every day, which is an early dinner for a lot of people in Spain. They're usually eating much later, but a lot of the team have dietary requirements, they're intermittent fasting, and being able to kind of fit into everyone's window was difficult. So we chose 6 p.m, which I was quite happy with because it's what I usually am doing. But we chose 6 p.m. so we can fit into intermittent fasting windows, and we have lots of, as I said, dietary requirements like gluten-free, wheat-free, everything else that goes with it. So making sure that we can cater for everyone and that we eat together, we pray together before we eat, and we're really grateful for what we're eating. It really does just kind of bring this team together closer, and everyone knows that, you know, it's a group thing. So we're cooking together, and somebody will cook or choose a recipe, we'll cook with them, they'll have a sous chef, and then afterwards we'll all kind of clean together as well. So there's this real glue that we stick to every day, and having a daily discipline around food especially is part of the magic of creating a good company culture. The second thing I decided to bring in was the process of leaving every room better than you found it. So there's no kind of leaving coffee cups and glasses everywhere and plates. It just doesn't look good. We're hosting people sometimes at the house for filming and also for guests and people that I know on the island. So bringing people over to a messy house would just, you know, it makes me cringe. I hate it. The idea of having a clean house that's efficient and it's tidy is really important. I do come from military parents, so my dad was in the Navy and my mum was in the Army. So having a clean space keeps the mind clean, and it also helps the whole harmony of the house, and I appreciate that, although my mum will probably say I didn't when I was younger. But now bringing that into this house, I see the value of really keeping it quite tidy and making sure that we can really bond together as well through the cleaning. So on a Friday we all clean together as well. We choose a couple of spaces each and get our own cleaning done, so it saves us having a cleaner. And yesterday I had to have my first meeting where I was like, house meeting, impromptu house meeting, and I had to get them all in the living room, and because I counted like a ridiculous amount of cups on the side, and there was just crap left everywhere. And that's the first time in 7 weeks we've been here that I've had to do that. So it's only when we're, you know, it's getting hotter and there's a heat wave and there's more of us that it started to drop a little bit. But that's when we need to bring the discipline back and remind everyone that we're trying to do this for, you know, to keep our kind of mental health and our minds clear. So I felt awkward doing it, but at the same time I felt like my dad. But I know the purpose of it is really going to help us, you know, maintain a good lifestyle and to be happier. So discipline is the way forward. So the third thing I brought in was actual time efficiency. So on this island, everybody's like mañana, mañana, and no one really respects anyone's time. It's this kind of island life. You kind of get permission when you land. Everyone says, oh, it's Ibiza, it's fine, let it go. You know, everything will happen when it's meant to. But when you're running a business and you're having to pull in money and you need to have team efficiency and you're looking after someone's mental health and you need to create a product and there's a, you know, an outside facing product for other people to see, that, you know, that really, you kind of got to create in the back end a really efficient team. So for me, the most important thing was to make sure that we turn up on time, that we actually respect other people's time, and that we do a really good job. And again, we leave something better than we found it. So if we can take the company culture of, you know, how we live at home out into meeting other people on the island and then out into the world, that for me feels better, and it feels like we'll be far more efficient and we'll get further within the business. I have like a rule of three in my life, which everyone knows about, and it does sound a bit strict, but it works very well. It's how I manage myself. And if we book a meeting, and you're late, that's absolutely fine. There's no, that things happen, it's not a problem. As long as you let us know before you're late that you're going to be late, rather than turning up 20 minutes late and saying, sorry, I'm late. It's more about having the respect and letting somebody know. If we book a meeting again and you're late again, shit happens. It's okay. It's not a problem. But as long as, again, we know, and these things do happen on the island especially. But if there's a third time, there's no time, basically. So we don't continue with that meeting or that project, because to get it wrong 3 times is an achievement, and it does happen a lot, but it's a lack of respect, and it's also a lack of personal responsibility. If you can't get somewhere on the 3rd time, it's not meant to be. So we'll take it as a sign and be spiritual, and we'll forget it. So for us, it's a really important part, is that if we can have that honor and respect for someone else, and they can have respect for us, then we can work with those people. If they don't, and they're mañana, and they don't really care, and they're not respecting us, then they won't get to be on the platform. They won't get to be part of what we're doing. And that keeps me safe, and our team safe, and our company culture safe. And then we can expand and grow with people who do appreciate what we're doing, who do see the world in the same way, that we can really be comfortable with, and create great things with. So I don't think it's bad. I think it's just efficient, and it works. And that's how we're doing island life. So they're my top 3 things of, how to kind of create a good company culture. And I feel like it's working so far. I feel like it's important for us to maintain that, and everybody is kind of falling into what we're doing in a beautiful way. So for me, it's working, but I will let you know probably in 6 months whether we're continuing that and maybe what we had to change. But for now, they're my top tips.